kidding. I'll be up at 8.
I can't.
I'll be up.
I will be up at 9:59.
I'll be up at 3.
Will you actually?
Yeah.
I wouldn't on a normal year, but I've been too sick.
Oh yeah, then get your sleep if you're sick.
Yeah.
I don't blame you.
And I have a huge tournament this weekend. I have the club championship this weekend. So
Mr. Mickelson's off at 2:30. Bryson's off at 2:52. Cam Smith 303. Brooks 303. Fleetwood 314. Realistic, like wake up at 4:30 because I want to see because that's when like Rory, JT, those guys all go off at like 5.
Yeah.
But we'll get the wheels rolling and wake up a little early.
Yeah, it was some pretty generous tee times for the stars, I think. In terms of America, like watching, which makes sense, right?
No, it's better than last year. I think Spieth was off at like 420 something.
Yeah.
I think 425 for his early last year. So the extra 40 minutes isn't bad.
not at all. I don't know if anyone's joined, but if you are, we're just setting this all up. And then, nope. Definitely not the live golf thumbnail.
425 for his early last year. So the extra 40 minutes isn't bad.
Hmm.
$425 for his early last year. So the extra 40 minutes isn't bad. Who's got the audio on?
What?
Who has the audio on of the YouTube?
Might have been me at first, but
Gotcha.
Mine. Was it me?
I'm not sure.
Is it off now?
Yeah, I could just hear myself talking like on a 20-second delay.
Yeah.
Second ago.
No complaints here.
By me?
No, by me.
Oh.
Hold on one second. Let me.
Bob, how much money did you pay Jacob Briggs 5858 to say you're his idol?
It seems like it's just a Nolan burner.
That's pretty good. Speaking of, isn't today is 5 years of since Birkdale, right?
I think it was 5 years yesterday. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I feel like these weeks keep going by too fast. Where the first 3 days of the majors, I'm not enjoying them as much as I should because then it's just Thursday. And then I don't know. I think you know what I'm saying though. Like it doesn't.
Gotta soak it all in, man.
Yeah, it just gets to Thursday too quick, I think is my problem.
It's the last major till April.
I know. Yeah, last major for 8 months.
8-9 months, yeah.
Yeah. Where's my phone? Oh my God. Did I leave my phone somewhere really stupid? All right. Can you guys tweet out the link and stuff while I go get my phone somewhere? The link's just like it should.
Dan, go do it.
All right, I'll be right back.
Yeah, I'm on Twitter. Hold on a second. I'm not logged into. Go get that though. Hold on a second.
I found it. I can do it if you need me to.
All right, do it.
Which one do you want me to do?
What do you mean?
Insta or Twitter?
Oh, I can do Insta.
Okay, I'll do Twitter. Insta or Twitter?
Insta.
All right, I'm good. All right, let's see. Oh my God, chat's active early.
You
Yeah.
okay there, Dan?
Yeah, I got it up. I had to well, it's posting, but I had to
Oh,
improvise a
you're
little
good.
bit because I didn't get the God, what do you call it? The thumbnail.
You'll
So
live.
it'll look a little funny, but that's okay.
Someone asked if I'm doing an early Dunkin' run. Absolutely. Jake Watt says he'll be following your story, Jordan. So
Thank you, sir. Look forward to it.
at least we'll be here in like 30 minutes after we break down like this start, and then she'll get into the bet and stuff. I gotta say I'm disappointed by the decision by the upper management to keep Bob on the pot. Yeah, I had a feeling that wouldn't be too popular with the fans. All right, I'm good to go. You guys good?
Let's roll.
All right. Jordan, you're recording things for the audio stuff.
You ready?
Want me to start?
Yeah, go ahead. You ready?
I'm ready.
3, 2, 1.
All righty. Welcome to episode 53, the live preview of the Open Championship, the 150th Open at St. Andrews, the home of golf. We are here with my two favorite people breaking down.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Dan. Dan said before we started this, like, I'm fired up. Like, he's ready to go. Dan's ready to go.
I am ready to go. I was trying to say that for all the majors, I feel like the 3 days leading up to Thursday have been going kind of quick for me this year. This one felt like the slowest, thankfully. But still, I mean, it's already, we are what? 6 hours, 6.5 hours from the first tee shot hit at the 150th Open at Mr. Andrews. And that's exciting,
Yeah. I mean,
So,
in totality, I mean, I think speaking for the three of us, this is the biggest major that we've been alive for in terms of like all the media hype it's gotten, all the epic stuff that's been on like the social media pages that they've done. I mean, I know we're 14 years away from the 100th Masters. I can only imagine what that'll be like. But I mean, no offense to the 100th PGA at Bellerive, but this one's got a little extra juice to it being at St. Andrews. Tiger being back. I mean, it's Jordan's first. It was Jordan's first Champions dinner, his first celebration of champions. I mean, it's a pretty big week.
So do they do that every time they come around?
It's just St. Andrews,
Yeah.
for both the Champions dinner and the celebration of champions, which is pretty cool.
This for those of you who don't know, St. Andrews is actually scheduled for last year. So they were planning to have it 6 years removed from the last time, but instead we're here in 2022 because of the COVID year. So I'm excited. I'm really excited. It's going to be a great week. We had the Scottish Open give us some hope as Jordan Spieth fans, obviously. But in the end, the Open's a different animal. St. Andrews is not going to play like the Renaissance Club at all. So I'm really interested to see what the scores are like. As Jordan and Dan said previously, they'll be up early tomorrow. I will not. I've been a little under the weather recently, so I'm just kind of like, I'll be up like around 9:30, and it will be interesting to see what the leading score is when I wake up. I don't really have any expectations, but
I don't know. It's funny because St. Andrews is a par 72, and it's not very long, right? It's 7,100 yards, I think, which is more like a par 70 yardage, and especially with how firm it is, it's going to play pretty short off the tee. Going to be a lot of Mr. Iron, but I think you'll still see guys hitting from the spots that the course is designed to be hit from, unless you're Bryson. Or because I think if you get over aggressive, you're putting yourself in tough spots. So hopefully the wind blows a little bit. I know it's forecast to be pretty
moderate.
Yeah, but they all the weather channels seem to disagree slightly on what's going to happen. And it seems like the gusts will still be around 20, which for an Open isn't much, but with how firm it is, should make a bit of a difference. And to be honest, I mean, in terms of scoring, I think there's a path where it gets to 20 under, unfortunately. And I think there's a chance we end up Sunday with somebody at 11 or 12. So if I had to pick, I think I'm going right in the middle, like 15, 16. But we'll see.
Yeah, I was going to agree with that. I was saying 14 to 18. I know that's kind of a broad range, but I'm pretty confident on that. It's funny. They were talking to Rory earlier today. I don't know if you guys heard this, and Rory was kind of saying that the way the media has been talking about the difficulty of the golf course, thinking it'll be so easy, he kind of disagreed with that. He was saying that if you were to shoot 4 rounds in the 60s, that you would have a pretty good chance to win this week. And of course, the way I looked at it, I thought he was kind of meaning like 469s, which would get you to 12 under. I don't really know if that would win it. But I'm really interested to see how it plays, because like I don't think it'll be as burnt out as Carnoustie was, but you're also got to take into consideration that Carnoustie is way longer and just on paper much more difficult golf course. So I'm thinking like, depending on how aggressive you get off the tee, I mean, you could have 40 to 50 yards left, depending on how much run out there really is, and do a lot of holes with your second shots, which is going to be really like, especially Bryson. Bryson will be fun to watch.
An interesting thing this week is that the course is like, what, 7,300 yards?
Yeah, it's 73-13.
So on paper, it's not like the shortest course in the world.
It's just a par 72.
There are a few long holes, but it is a par 72. There's only 2 par 3s and
2 par 5s.
There's 2 par 5s, and it's just really firm. So you'll be seeing a lot of different shots. And I saw someone tweet this out. It's going to be a caddy's nightmare this week because of how I mean, you land it in one spot, it's perfect. You land in another spot, it kicks right off that's the teeth to this golf course. It's not the length, it's not the rough. It's the way that it's the contours, basically. That's the unpredictableness that will come into play. Suits Jordan. He's always played links golf very well. This is not something that's only at St. Andrews, but I'm really interested to see how, as you said, players, long hitters like Bryson DeChambeau and JT, like how they like, because yes, you'll get extra distance off the tee, but you can go pretty far right and left too if it's firm enough.
Yeah, and I think if you miss in the bunkers this week are going to be crucial, because I think if you miss in the bunkers, if you miss in the wrong spot in the bunkers, especially the fairway bunkers, that can be a 1-shot, potentially even 2-shot penalty on the hole, right? So that's going to be part of its defense this week. And you could get unlucky. You could hit a downslope 50 yards short of a bunker with an iron off the tee, and it just rolls right into it, up against the lip, have to like chip it back into the bunker, chip out, right? And then you're making 6 at best. So it's going to require a lot of placement around the course, and a lot of it's going to rely on a little bit of luck too, right? You're going to have to avoid the horrible left kick and the horrible right kick. And, you talked about, how aggressive will guys get. I think it depends on how many 30-yard chips do they want and at what angle, because 30 yards at St. Andrews, with how firm it is and given the slopes and the angle that you might have to the pin, you might be better off from the opposite side of the fairway with 120 yards. So there's certain, and maybe that's exaggerating a little bit, but I think that's kind of you understand my point,
Well,
right? It's all about the angles here too.
A thing that you don't get in the States very often is that there are going to be shots inside of 50 yards that are nothing short of impossible. Like if you put yourself in a spot, if you're behind a ridge or anything, like the closest you can get is 10 feet, unless you hit the pin. Like you can't, sometimes running it up doesn't even do the trick. So it'll be interesting to see, because greens don't get this firm over here. So, and fairways don't either, but mix it in with the wind, which shouldn't be too penalizing nor helping this week, but it's a different animal than what these guys see for a majority of the season.
I think one thing on the fescue, we were kind of crapping on it a little bit last week for being a little bit of the Mickey Mouse variety. I do think this week the fescue will be more penal than it was last week, just because you got to remember that the way St. Andrews is constructed, it literally goes down one way for the front 9 and then comes back into town for the back 9. It literally goes just straight back and forth. A lot of these spectators are literally having to stand out of bounds on each side. So I don't think you're going to get, unless someone hits drives really offline, the spectators are so far off the fairway that like the near misses that just miss the fairway about by 10 yards on each side, I think you're going to be even more penal than they were last week, just because, I mean, there was so much trampled down fescue last week. I just don't think we're going to see as much of that this week, just based on where the spectators have to stand. And I mean, Dan, you said it pretty well with the bunkers. I mean, Jordan did not find a single fairway bunker last week. I would love for him to replicate that this week, because I think if he does, he's at least going to give himself a pretty good chance. And there's a lot of bunkers out there. So if you're finding the bunkers, you're going to be screwed just because of the lips and kind of what you said, Bob, too, about like the 50-yard shots. I think just like a shot that we had, I know, don't want to compare the two courses too much, but number 5 last week, that second into number 5 is like a 50, 60-yard pitch from the fairway. There's going to be similar shots this week to that one. And that one was one that Jordan struggled with. He played that hole horribly. And there's a lot of short holes out there that he's going to need to play a lot better.
Yeah, I think even as a fan, I mean, obviously the players and caddies are going to have to manage their expectations. But, on the first hole, when you see whoever your favorite player is right down the middle, I mean, everybody's going to be right down the middle. and they have 100 yards left or whatever it may be, very few of those shots are going to finish within 10 feet. 20 feet is going to be pretty good. I'd say a bunch of the drivable fours, depending on where you miss, you could have 30 yards and 25 feet be a good shot. Bob talked about that a little bit. Like there's just certain spots where you miss, and getting it on the green and giving yourself a look at 30 feet is going to be about all you can do. And I think having that patience, but also knowing that like there's more birdie chances out there, because you could birdie a lot of these holes. There's very few that, obviously the road hole is quite difficult. I'd imagine the par threes will be difficult because you have to hit a 7-iron plus into them. But you're going to get a lot of scoring opportunities, a lot of wedges in theory. So, not getting up and down from 50 yards, well, that's probably frustrating, on a different style of course here at St. Andrews. It's going to happen a lot this week. So I think that's, kind of adjusting your mindset is going to be crucial to keeping yourself in the tournament, I think.
Yeah, he's not going to win if his short game's not elite. Like I think for whoever the winner is, their short game is going to be on, because, you're going to have a lot of shots with 75 or shorter yardage in, especially on these par fours. I'm just looking at the scorecard right now. There are 7 par fours under 400 yards. And if you pull driver on just half of them and you're getting run out, you're going to hit 320, 330 plus yard drives very easily. And you're going to be leaving yourself with pitches into every single green. I'm, as a Spieth fan, I'm very selfishly hoping he spent hours around the short game area, hours around these greens in his practice rounds, because he's going to have a ton of these shots from different types of lies to different pins. And the pins are going to be tough. Because the wind doesn't look like it's going to be too strong. The pins are going to be one of the main defenses of this golf course.
Yeah, I think the difference here versus other like links golf courses is the fescue isn't in play as much as it is at most links golf courses. Like these fairways are very wide. Like you should not miss many fairways. There are a few tight spots, but like you shouldn't be trying to go through those tight spots when you have options to lay back 200 yards. Like, and as Dan said, like, I think you brought a really good point that you can hit a good shot on a drivable par four and just have no shot of getting it inside 20 feet. Like, you need some luck this week. Like, that is part of the challenge. But the thing is, links golf separates good from bad pretty evidently by Saturday. So yes, luck will be involved, but at the same time, it does a very good job of exposing you if you're hitting bad golf shots. Not necessarily left the tee, but into greens for sure.
Yeah, I think you kind of mentioned it with the fescue. I'm just curious, how many balls are we going to see that bound off these fairways into the fescue? Like, I'm not like, I think on the fly, the fairways are pretty wide here. But with just some of the pictures I've seen of these fairways, and I mean, all we've heard is firm. Like, there are going to be some really crappy bounces if you're not hitting it straight down the fairway or hitting it into an angle to where the fairway runs in that direction. I mean, you could end up in really, really bad spots. And like, I know on my stories, I talk a lot about angles and the pins, especially on like American golf courses. They don't matter as much. Here, it means everything. I mean, if you don't have a good angle to a pin here, you're, as you guys have kind of alluded to a couple times, 30 feet is going to be a good shot.
Yeah. Yeah. And with the double greens, right, where two holes are on the same green, you could have some 120-foot putts from on the green, right? And you'll probably have 120-foot putts anyway, because you'll be 30 yards from the flag in the fairway or whatever, and you'll choose putter. So that's, we talked about specifically for Jordan last week, like the the lag putting wasn't spectacular. It has to be this week if you want to win. If you're not lagging it close, and if you have 5-footers all day at St. Andrews, you are not doing yourself any favors. That course is, while scoreable, also very easy to play over par. If you get some bad bounces, get on the wrong side of pins. So it'll be a test of patience and short game skill and just overall feel and touch. And we'll see who's got it, unless Bryson just like destroys everybody by hitting 3-wood at every drivable 4 and getting all the bounces. But like I think he needs a little more luck than he's too much science, I think, for the amount of
touch and feel.
Non-science that St. Andrews sometimes requires.
Yeah, that's fair. Just talking about the greens too, and all the double greens. Live from, for those of you who didn't get to watch it earlier, they had a sick graphic. They showed one of the greens at St. Andrews. They took 7 of the greens from Pebble Beach. They put the 7 greens on the 1 green at St. Andrews, and the 7 greens at Pebble Beach combined were still not as big as 1 green at St. Andrews, which just, I mean, I think the average green size at St. Andrews is like 25,000 square feet, I'm pretty sure. And Pebble, I think, is like 3,500. So, I mean, it was really cool to see the difference. And yeah, I mean, you're going to have multiple 100+ foot putts, I would think, this week. Easily.
Yeah.
Well, you'll see that when people are driving greens. You'll catch a slope and you'll run down 100 feet. And I think Dan was talking about sometimes it will be better to be 30 yards. I mean, like 120 yards and 30 yards. I don't think it's too much of a stretch to say that there are putts that you'd rather be 100 yards out. Just because of how there will be, I don't really know exactly how the greens are contoured, but there will be putts that you can't get inside of 15 feet. Just because of how the greens roll. And that's really cool in my opinion. And obviously those won't be putts that are 60 feet, but like you'll see 120-foot putts that you won't be able to get close. I don't know if we'll see people take wedges because I don't really think wedges would help anymore.
Not the play lies, no.
My experience at St. Andrews starts and ends with WGT. And in WGT, the course was a birdie fest.
Yeah. Well, that's the one kind of, we'll see how much rain it's supposed to get. Because it's supposed to get a little bit Friday and maybe a touch on Sunday. So I'm hoping that's all we get and it's firm enough that it won't matter. Because if they get any bit of rain and then the wind stays the way it should, it will very quickly turn into a wedge fest from 50 to 60 yards. Chat's going bonkers right now, but somebody commented about what would you sign up for right now on Thursday. I think that's a good question, and it kind of transitions us into Spieth. And I'm kind of glad we have the late window because we'll see what a good score is, right? We'll see. Is 66. I'd imagine 66 will be out there, but it could, the wind could blow harder than it's supposed to. And it turns out that 69 is a great score. And the way, Rory said it, Rom said it. The players seem to think it's going to play harder than the media has been saying it is. So if I had to guess right now, I think I'd take 4 under, but that could fluctuate very quickly, right? And we'll see. I mean, by the time, Jordan will be up pretty early, but by the time Bob gets up, a bunch of people have finished their round. And somebody could have posted 65. Somebody could have posted 69, right? And I think that's what's cool about it. And especially having the late window that we can then kind of adjust our expectations to what we've actually seen is out there instead of just making a guess. Because at this point, I don't think anybody really knows what's going to happen. So,
Yeah, I'd agree with you, Dan. I'd sign for 68. That'd probably be my number as of right now. It wouldn't shock me when Bob wakes up. Hopefully he's feeling pretty good tomorrow morning, dealing with a little illness, holy voice crack.
I'm actually not sick. It's just a cough.
Well, you're sick if you got a cough, man. I don't know.
But I don't feel sick. I just like it takes so much
Gotcha.
out of me. Like I'm so tired. Because like every time I go on a coughing fit, I'm like
yeah, it takes energy out of you. But yeah, it wouldn't surprise me at all if when you wake up that there's a 65 posted and someone's a 7 under. It's just too short of a course, too many wedges. I think it'll play tough, and depending on who that 7 under is, they could easily fall back. But I mean, I want to see real quick. What was the leading score after first round of 2015? 7 under. DJ shot 65.
DJ. So. And I think DJ was at 12, 13?
10.
Okay, only 10? Right. Yeah. So even then, it played easy, and then the final winner was 15.
Yeah, Spieth shot 67 in round 1 in 2015.
Okay. Yeah. So I will say I saw some tweet, and I feel bad for not knowing who tweeted it. Might have been a Justin Wright thing, but the winners at St. Andrews have they've just started inside the top 5 after day 1. So I think it's a hard course to make a comeback at unless you have a really, really good Friday. Spieth's pretty good at Good Fridays, but just in terms of this is we talk about getting off to a fast start all the time. This is the ultimate. You need a fast start here. You can't be, obviously it depends on what the scores are, but with the amount of people that I think this course allows to be in contention, you can't be, sitting way back after day 1 and expect to get back into it by the end of day 2. So
no, this isn't like a Carnoustie or something like that where it's kind of a grind fest. You're going to need to shoot 4 under par scores to win this golf tournament. Could you shoot 70, 63? Yeah, but I'm more of the person who would rather him shoots 468s or something like that, consistent rounds every single day. But Jordan Spieth is not consistent, hasn't been consistent this year. But I think that's a good segue. What are we thinking about Jordan Spieth's odds this week?
I like him, obviously. I think that the Scottish Open made me feel a lot better. But again, I need to see something first. We haven't seen him in contention at a major yet this year. So I got to see something. I'd like to see him get off to a fast start, which we haven't seen from him in a major since the last major he was contention at. Go figure. Got to see something hot out of the gates.
Yeah, I don't know. I was thinking about this. He's just been so bad in majors this year. And in theory, opens have been his spot, right? Even in 2019, he was T6 going into Sunday and then shot a 77. Granted, it got really difficult that final day at Portrush. But I don't know. I think there will be good golf, but I worry that there's a few too many mistakes still in the bag, and that at a place like this, a mistake that could just lead to bogey could lead to double bogey. Like a bad chip and you roll off the wrong slope and you're chipping again. It's not, a 25 footer or whatever. So we'll see. He seems pretty quietly confident. But I felt like at the majors last year, I just felt more confidence in his overall game going into each one of them. And this time we'll see. I wouldn't be surprised if he won, but I don't want to expect that. So.
That's fair. I mean, I feel pretty good. I feel great about the driver. That's not a worry at all. I think my big thing this week is 3-putt avoidance. I think he's going to make his fair share of 10 to 20 footers, to be honest. It's just I have not been very confident when he's 40 plus feet out and getting it down in 2. That's kind of my big worry right now. I think the short game will be better than it was last week based on being on the turf, as he likes to call it, for an extra week. But 3-putt avoidance is going to be my thing. I think if he can limit the 3 putts, he will have a pretty good chance to win this week. Because I think the wedges were great last week. Besides the par threes, they were absolutely abysmal. But I mean, into like the 100 to 150 yard range last week, I thought was really good. I still can't believe the bounce he got at 15 on Sunday.
Yeah, that was
insane. We made bogey there.
Yeah, he hasn't also done a good job of like maintaining momentum.
Oh yeah.
And we like kind of saw a flash of that on Thursday when he made 5 straight birdies. Of course, he bogeyed the 18th with an atrocious 3-putt, even though it won't count as a 3-putt. But I think that's going to be key this week. And I think that's how you put together 15 really, really good momentum holes is how you win majors, because it adds up to a bunch of good rounds. And I just don't know if he's got that like momentum spark and a ability to kind of keep it. So he'll have enough to keep him afloat probably, but to win, I feel like you need to ride that momentum and not give it back, which he's pretty good at doing for as long as possible. So
yeah, I'd say another thing that I've kind of harped on quite a bit, especially when I'm live tracking, is the hard holes. He's got to play them well. I mean, he's got to find a way to play 17 and 1 over or something like that. You can't be making, like what he play 18 into the Scottish 3 over. Yeah. Like that's just not going to be good enough. Like I know it's a very hard hole, but you got to find a way to grind out pars, and that's what he was so good at in 15. I hate to obviously go back and look at his former self like they were supposedly doing on live from earlier today, but he's going to have to figure out how to make par on a lot of the tough holes, and he has kind of struggled to do that this year. I mean, he wasn't great at it at the US Open. Didn't do a great job last week, played them poorly. You're going to need to find a way to grind out some pars, and there's going to be a lot of scoring chances. Like he knows that. He kind of emphasized patience in his pre-tournament press conference.
Yeah.
He's going to have a bunch of wedge opportunities, but he's going to need to play the hard holes well and make pars when needed.
Yeah, he's going to have, Jacob said it in the chat, he's going to have to sack up. Obviously, that's a Mikey quote, but like, just got to sack up and hit a good one. On 17 off the tee for sure. Honestly, 17, just a whole hole. You have to hit 4 really good shots to make a par, which is cool. And that course needs some of that. But we'll see. I mean, there's enough birdies out there. Like even if he doesn't get one or some of the drivable ones kind of in the middle of the round, there's still chances out there. And one of the par 5s like 600 yards, but you know, if you hit a good tee shot and it rolls, it'll go 350 or whatever, and then you run on something up there. So plenty of chances. Just have to make sure that you're not, putting 6s on the board, right? So
I think it's going to be a very big week for Mr. 3-iron. I think that club is going to be used a lot off of the tees.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think he said driver's only there for
4 or 5 holes.
It's not necessary with how firm it is. I don't know. It seems like, Bob, you got that look of thought, deep thought on your face. I'm curious.
For the thought of worry, or?
It's not a thought of worry. I'm not really in thought. I'm just kind of like taking all this in.
You like listening to us?
I do like listening to you guys. I think
Thanks.
You guys are very intelligent men.
Thank you.
I do I did some deep research while I was at work the other day, and I spent like a good 45 minutes on this. And there's definitely a much easier way to do it than how I did it. But I looked up every round that Spieth and Rahm have played in a major together because I was curious to see how they had played, how they had finished, things like that. I did it for Spieth and Varner too, but they haven't done that because Varner hasn't played a lot of majors.
How long did this take you?
He also, it was about 45 minutes. I had to go through, I just typed in like pairings.
Okay.
And then I went to his website because obviously they have all the rounds. But so in 4 rounds, he played with Rahm in the 2018 PGA at Bellerive and then the 2019 PGA at Bethpage. Jordan is averaging 68, 71, 66, 69, 66. And a T12 at Bellerive, a T3 obviously at Bethpage. So he plays pretty well when he's playing with Rahm.
Played well with Rahm at the Scottish too.
Yeah, on Saturday. So hopefully that's a good sign. But yeah, I just thought I'd throw it out there. There's got to be an easier way to do that, but there's
That's
a lot
Justin
of
Ray for his tools.
yeah, exactly. His magic wand.
No, I guess that's good. I mean, after what was it Rahm's caddy pulled at the Ryder Cup last year? Maybe Spieth has some extra motivation after. Didn't Spieth like get in a fight with Rahm's caddy or something like a verbal?
Yeah, but that didn't amount to anything. Like John and Spieth are like chill now. Like they're not like.
Yeah. No, I think they were just arguing where the ball.
Yeah, that tensions flare at the Ryder Cup, as we know.
And they had a difference.
That didn't amount to anything. I don't think Jordan Spieth has it out for Mr. Caddy.
Yeah, it was like a 10-yard difference in opinion too. So it wasn't. It didn't change a whole lot. So, but yeah, I don't
think
know.
Greller's ever gotten a verbal altercation, has he?
With a fan at God, where was it?
U.S. Open. We got one at the U.S.
Open. Yeah, exactly.
That was hilarious.
That's pretty good.
I mean, the fan had a very good point though. He was talking about Jordan's putting, and like he was very right. But I don't know. I kind of said I feel pretty confident about Mr. Putter this week from inside the 20-25 foot range. It's the 3-putt avoidance that worries me a little bit.
It's good. Yeah, we'll see. He's actually like Putter hasn't been great, but he's gained in 4 out of 5. So if you don't like strokes gained, then you'll just throw what I said in the trash. But that means he's been better than the field in putting in 4 out of the last 5 tournaments.
Yeah. I know Bob doesn't like strokes gained, but Bob even knows he's been putting better. Like that's eye test will tell you that.
Strokes gained is very fraudulent.
It's not fraudulent. There's just slight flaws. But
hold on. I need to unleash my take. I need to unleash this. I don't think I've ever said it on the pod. There are a lot of like takes that I say that maybe I don't even fully believe, and that some would compare to like a Skip Bayless type take, where like I'm just looking for attention, and that's not true. But this one is one that I believe to the deepest of my hearts that strokes gained really has nothing on the eye test at all. Like that's like my number one belief in the sport. Because there was a round, I think it was the Scottish round 1, where Jordan lost strokes somewhere, but gained strokes somewhere. And it was just obviously the complete opposite. Like there are so many flaws with like, I get like, let's say, for example, you had 13 fairways and 1 out of bounds, right? But you make bogey when you put it out of bounds. Like, yes, the bogey's not because of the driver, but some people like the strokes gained. I remember he had one at Hilton Head where like he hit like 12 fairways with 1 OB ball and like gained 0.02.
Right.
When the fairway is what is the reason he shot under par all day.
Right, but the driver going
OB
out of
once,
bounds cost him two shots.
one shot,
That's a 2-shot. You re-teeing, that's a 2-shot penalty.
but he made a bogey. And that's not because of the driver, but
Right. So the
You're thinking
iron
bogey, it's
is
because of the
good.
iron in or
but
the wedge.
over the
Yeah.
course of that is not a 0.00 strokes gain type day. If you had 13 fairways and one out of bounds ball, I'm sorry. It's
Well,
just there.
What is it in your mind then?
Yeah, what is it? Not in terms of stroke, like it's
Above
just a good
average.
driving day.
Above average.
Okay, that's fine.
I think it's very easy to tell whether strokes gained is good for some stuff. Like it gives you good relative comparisons to the field, but if for someone like us who watch every Spieth round, we can tell whether he's driving it well or not.
That's fair.
For sure, but I just strokes gained tells me how far he's hitting it and how accurate at the same time.
And that's another thing.
I look at some random dude.
Half its distance when Spieth.
That's golf these days, man.
I know, but
I
don't know.
Here's what I'll say.
It's got a lot of flaws.
It does. I'll agree.
Strokes gained has flaws because it counts 8-footers the same. Not every 8-footer is uphill right to left. There's a bunch of downhill left to rights, which are by far harder, right, for a right-handed player in general. 150 from the right rough is not the same as 150 from the center of the fairway, and they have worked on that a little bit so that it's based on where other players are in the same spot. What score do they make? So it's getting there, and obviously it's improvement. I think it's really good for long term because you can see trends. You can see, because over the period of time, even over a tournament, I think you're going to see how well something worked because I think it's going to work itself out. And over a round, I think they're just cool to look at. But I think the eye test on a individual round basis can give you more than strokes gained. But I also think just strokes gained in general is better for tournaments, better for longer periods of time. And therefore, I don't know. I mean, I think it's helpful to help think about rounds in a certain way.
Yeah, I think, a couple things here. One being strokes gained counts putts from off the green as around the green, which I've always hated. And two, this will make you feel better, Bob. That Dan and I are nerds and we love numbers. So, that's just, it's cool to just because there could be some random European tour dude last week that's doing something better than Spieth, and I have no clue. And the numbers allow me to see what Spieth does compared to everyone else. But in saying that, I understand that strokes gained has flaws. But again, it's the only numerical analysis we have to go off of, is what I'm also trying to say.
And it's good for, if you are handicapping golf or betting golf, it's good for that because it shows trends and it shows what guys are doing that you don't see every shot of. So obviously we watch every shot of Jordan, right? So the eye test is a lot more valid. But in terms of, I'm trying to think of a dude, Marcus Armitage, the strokes gained is necessary and it's good enough, I think, in terms of trends. But no, I agree with your point. But we'll see. They have shot link this year, right? It's not shot link.
They have a shot tracker, which will have distance and stuff like that. So I assume there will be strokes gained.
Yeah, so Data Golf should have all that stuff if you care about it.
There usually isn't for the Open, which is not cool.
Well, yeah, I think somewhere there is.
There is, yeah. I assume Rick Gehman has everything in terms of strokes.
Well, I think they had strokes gained last year, but they didn't release it. Because there was somebody pointed out, I think Rick probably pointed out, hey, they're sponsored by this something, and that something does strokes gained. I don't know, or does shot tracker, which would allow for strokes gained. So anyway, I'm not sure how we got to that point, but we're talking about the putter.
Yeah.
There's another stat that was brought to my attention this week called approach putting. I think it was Greg Ducharme who brought this up. And I don't know exactly how it works, but my guess is basically like how close do you hit it when you lag the putt? And Jordan's pretty good at that. And unfortunately, JT is a little bit better. Schauffele's also pretty good. Cantlay's really solid. So, we talk about the putter, we talk about lag putting. We mentioned it before. It's going to be crucial this week, but not more crucial than cleaning up inside of 3 or 4 feet. Because if you don't do that, then you have no shot. So,
which he did well at the Scottish. He didn't miss anything inside of 5 feet. Of course, he missed a couple 6-footers, but what club, Bob, does Spieth need to have working this week to win the Open?
This is tough because for links golf, you really can't win it with one club at all.
You can pick a set of clubs if you want, like if you want to pick wedges or irons or.
It's kind of tough because you could just say putter.
I still think it's Mr. Putter. I think that I don't think that there are going to be many 5-footers for birdie this week. They're all going to be 10, 15, 25 footers. Like he's going to have to make some. He's going to have to get hot. Like that's simple fact.
Right. No, and at the end of the day, the putter is what ultimately puts the ball in the hole and ultimately determines the score of the round, right? So, you can hit a wedge shot close all day, every day, but if you can't make that putt, then it doesn't really matter. I will say there is something to being able to hit pitches, wedge shots, around the green shots, the inside of 10 feet, and be able to give the putter a chance. But putter will be crucial as always, and hopefully it doesn't kind of cost him another major. It hasn't really this year. Like it's been bad, but everything else also hasn't been that good. But that would be disappointing.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I was thinking about this earlier, and here's our strokes gains, kind of helpful. I'm thinking if Spieth is top 20 in putting and top 15 and around the green, that he's got a really good chance to win this week.
Yeah.
Because I mean, unless he's hitting a couple into the old course hotel on 17, the driver off the tee doesn't really worry me. Although with his newfound distance, him not being able to hit driver on quite a few holes brings, I think, a lot of the shorter guys into play, which will be interesting to see. But he's gonna have a lot of wedges. The wedges don't worry me that much. I think they'll be good, but it's just if he can, when he misses the green, or if he's at that 615-yard par 5, can he get up and down, and can he make enough putts? That's golf.
Yeah, I think that. What are the par 5 distances again? One of them's short, one of them's long, right?
Yeah. I mean, they'll both be reachable, but one is 570 and one is 614.
So 570 is more like it's going to play like 510.
Yeah, it was the easiest hole in 2015, and I assume it'll be it again.
And 625 will be reachable with a hybrid, I assume.
Or maybe not even.
Maybe not.
Yeah, you could probably go with less. I mean, the fairways. It's the other thing. Playing from the fairway is going to be important because you can then spin it, and it's not going to spin like what you watch on TV where it sucks back 10 feet. But if you land it on the green, it's going to be able to stay on the green. If you're not in the fairway and you're slightly in the fescue, you land it on the green, it's going over the green, or it's coming back off it's not gonna hold the greens, unless a little rain helps them out, which I think it might on Friday, unfortunately. But we'll see. We'll let it play out. Hopefully, Mother Nature blows and it sounded bad. Hopefully the wind blows. God. Anyway, are we going to bets now? We need to move on from what I just said.
Well, Elise has to put her son to bed, so she's coming.
We can keep talking. I mean, I'm thinking if
she's coming on at 8 now. I need to go get a drink of water, so I'll be right back.
All right, Dan, now keep discussing.
Spitball over here.
So I'm thinking if he's got a 614-yard par five, I mean, I'm thinking he might be going driver 5-iron. I mean, I think a driver can go 370 if the fairways are that baked out.
Depends on the wind and depends on how wide the fairway is. Right, like who knows if the bunkers are at like 280, which they could be because that's how the course was designed. Then you just hit it over them. If it goes into the fescue, it's in the fescue. You hack something up there, it runs forever, and you're close by the green, and you get up and down. But I think if he hits it like a good driver, probably 350, and then you've got 250, and you hit 5-iron.
Yeah, 5-iron's gonna run.
Yeah, and you could hit 5-iron over, or you could end up 30 yards short, just depending on your first bounce. Like, it's gonna be fun to watch. Could be frustrating at times, but that's kind of the whole shtick of links golf, right? So,
I'm not 100% sure he said this, but Paul McGinley on Live From, I think he said he wouldn't be shocked if he saw a drive over 500 yards.
wow.
He said like I don't know where he's from, but he's a European guy. He's got the British accent. I don't know if he's Irish or what he is, but he said this was like the firmest golf course he's ever seen. And I mean, it kind of echoes what like Lowry said, Rory said, Rom said, as you said. I am really intrigued because it sounds like these guys think it's going to be a whole lot harder than we do.
Yeah.
Which I'm still like struggling to comprehend when you have 7 par fours under 400 yards.
Right.
But again, they're playing. I'm not.
And is like as wide open as they are. It's not like they're super narrow par fours with 8 inches of rough next to them, right? They're it's just fairway and then a green and a couple pop bunkers that if you avoid, you've got to flip wedge in.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see how the scoring is going to be because I'm struggling to wrap my head around them saying that it's going to be this hard.
Well, you saw I don't know if you saw the video of Sam Burns like bouncing a ball on the fairway.
I did not. I didn't.
He threw it like kind of hard, but he basically dribbled a golf ball. Like it bounced back up to like mid hamstring thigh level, and he caught it. Like he didn't have to bend over really. So that's firm. And we'll have to see. And I think too, they've got it as firm as Thursday is going to be. I don't think obviously nobody's complaining about it, so I don't think it's going to be out of control unless they tuck some pins in like.
I think they're going to be tucked,
like super tight spots, but I think they're probably preparing for a little bit of water on Friday, which is unfortunate. But I think, they're doing the right thing by making it extra firm and crispy and then letting nature kind of take care of the rest. But I agree. I'd love to see the winning score be at 10 because I think that means Mr. Andrews is cooking, is firing.
If it's at 10, Mr. Andrews is quite mad because like I don't know the last time it's been a 10 under winner at the old course.
It's been a while. It's usually it's the lowest score normally.
I mean, yeah, John Daly won at 6 under in 1995.
Wow.
I mean,
probably got a lot of wind.
John Daly.
Who's in the field this week? Mr. Daly.
What a human. Like
did you see John Daly Jr. with the Hooters hat on today? That was sick.
That's my dude.
It's a sick father and son moment on the bridge.
We can get into our
Our bets.
If you want.
That's fine.
Okie dokie.
Sounds like a good idea. Set the table for
the professional.
Yeah, well. Yeah.
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 I'll start us off. Oh, we also have Thrive. We haven't done Thrive in a few weeks.
That's true.
Thrive Fantasy. Use shout out you guys because like we did the first month and we got some codes used, and then without even like trying that hard, we got like 4 codes used. So
We appreciate your support. It's in my bio. It's in
keep
Bob's
using the
bio.
code. It's fun. Thrive's fun. You want to start with Thrive? We never start with Thrive. And then maybe Elise could come in during the segment that we're doing. All right. You want to do Thrive first?
Let's stick to FanDuel first, just because
Okay.
I have a Thrive play, but I want to get all my Thrive plays.
All right.
I'll just run down with all my bets. How's that sound?
All right.
Alrighty. So I have a total of 7 bets for our 200 points. I got 3 outrights, 3 placements, and 1 random bet. So my outrights, Spieth. I got 15 on Spieth. I mean, I can't not. I think I've bet on him in 2
Wait.
or maybe. Yeah.
Hold on. What are the requirements again?
For our bets,
200 points.
200 points, you need at least 1 outright, at least 1 placement, at least 1 random.
Okay.
Got it. All right. I will resume. So Spieth, 15 to pay out 240. I think he's like plus 1600. I liked what I saw last week. Bob and I have been harping on this ever since we got to Europe. Slower greens, I think, benefit him. A lot of people are on him this week. It's not just me. It's not just because I'm biased. There are a lot of people who like Spieth this week. Second outright, Scotty Scheffler. I think he's flying in under the radar, which makes absolutely 0 sense. He's been the best player by far in 2022. And I know he played horribly at the Scottish, but it wouldn't surprise me whatsoever if he came out this week and I don't know if dusted the field, but played really well. And then 1 long shot, Adam Scott. I think he's like 90 to 1, 5 on him to pay out 480. Good open history. Came close in St. Andrews, I'm pretty sure. So that's my 3 outrights, getting my placements. I got JT Poston the top 40 at plus 200, coming off a win and a T2. Simply just riding the form. He's never played an open. He's plus 200, so I figured why not. Bryson the top 40. I am not fully waking up at 3 a.m. Eastern time to watch Bryson, but I am very excited to see him take on the old course with how short it is. I think like we crap on the live guys for like not caring about competition, but I truly believe Bryson is one of the dudes that still will work his tail off, especially at the majors, even though he's getting paid a boatload of cash. So I got him the top 40. I think at plus 140. Spieth top 10. I have told Bob and Dan this behind the scenes. I don't see a way in which Spieth doesn't contend this week. It's just we don't give a crap if it's a 5. We need a 1. We need him to win this week. So I think he'll be in the picture. And then my last bet, my random bet, is a Rory Mcilroy top 10 after round 1. It seems like the perfect thing for him to win this week. I know not from your perspective, Bob, because you're not a massive Rory guy right now, but it wouldn't shock me if Rory came out and shot 66 tomorrow. I mean, he is in such good form. It's the same thing for him, though, Spieth. If it's a second place, what does it mean? But I think he'll come out firing tomorrow.
I like those.
Thanks, Dan.
I like those. I'll go next, I guess. We'll save the leader, Bob, for last.
Leader by a large margin.
Yeah. I was considering throwing some dough on Spieth, some points. But I didn't because I just don't know if he'll cross the finish line. And that's a little unfortunate but we'll see. And sadly, I put some points on Mr. Thomas because he's got a great number.
No.
I'll relay the I'll put the points and stuff in the doc later. But I'm throwing like 20 on him. He's at 21 to 1, and he just can't win. But like, it's a pretty good number for JT, and the short game is underrated, and he's a pretty good lag putter. I don't know. I really hope
No, he'll miss the cut.
it's not the case. But anyway, so put a little bit on him because I felt like I couldn't miss it.
I mean, I'll take like the free extension of the lead, but like, are you taking into effect that JT sucks at links golf?
JT is just good at golf.
But he's not at links golf at all.
That's fine.
He just won the PGAs in some of the best form of his career and shot 9 over last week?
10 over, actually. 10 over.
Yeah.
We'll see. Look, I don't, it's more about the number than me actually thinking he's going to win. All right. I don't know why you're hating on it so much other than because I guess you don't like JT.
I mean, the number only does you good if it hits.
That's very valid.
He thinks it's going to hit, right?
I have some sense of Justin Thomas could win this golf tournament.
JT would have to be 35-1 for me to bet him. If he's 32-1, I'm not touching him.
Okay.
We're gonna hear Elise's point of view.
Fine. I just don't.
Bob is an Elise merchant, so
I am a proud Elise merchant. But my plays this week are wow.
Do not tell Bob then. Do not tell Bob.
Except for to be fair, Elise and I think very similarly. Where I am an Elise merchant is the top 40s.
Yeah.
You kick our behinds in the top 40s.
Yeah, me and Elise think very similar on outrights, especially for the Open because it's links golf. It's more predictable. But all right, go.
Anyway, so a little bit there. We'll see how that pans out. Threw a little bit on Schauffele because
that's fair.
He's riding a heater. His number isn't great, but he's proved that he can actually win twice in a row now. And who knows, maybe he's just riding the ultimate heater of his career probably, and he gets it done at the old course. So I had to throw a little bit on him to win. I threw a little bit more on Schauffele to lead after round one.
I like that.
Because I think he's just rolling right now. And I think he's off in the morning with Rory.
He is. Rory, Colin, and Xander as a group.
So why not? He gets out early, fires a 65, and everybody's like, oh crap, is he gonna win again? So I threw 10 on that, I think. And then I saw this matchup, and I know Finau's been pretty good at opens recently, but if you're giving plus money for Brooks Koepka to beat him, seems in a major, seemed like, I don't know. I know Brooks is not.
What's the number?
It's plus 124.
That's a good line.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good value for Finau, given how he's.
You think Finau at minus 156 over Brooks?
I take a 150. Once it gets past 150, it gets a little sketchy.
So you think Finau is going to?
I don't think Brooks is going to play well this week. No.
Okay.
I think Finau will.
All right, that's fine. And I
it's a fair value play. I think Finau could kind of collapse all over himself, and Brooks is Brooks. So
yeah,
a lot of people on Finau.
And he said he loves St. Andrews.
Yeah.
As much kind of bullshit as he sometimes spews, I think that could be legit. I also picked him to win St. Andrews in December, so I'm going to stick with that. And who knows where his game is at, right? Because he's done this before where he comes into majors and then does really well, regardless of his previous form. I've got a little on Brooks, and then I've got I've got quite a bit on that, but I've got Minwoo Lee to top 40 because I think that dude just knows how to get it done in majors. He was like low key there at Augusta when Hideki won. Think he's got another top 30 or something at a major, and it was like plus 220, and why not? We'll see. Those are my bets as the sun glares into my screen. Trying to figure that out. You're on mute, Bob.
I can't hear you, sir.
Yeah.
My bad.
Hello.
The number that I have on my dock is different than the one that you guys are going to give me because unfortunately Max Homa at 200 to 1 is no longer available. What is his number right now?
I think I saw 50.
All right. So I'll put 20 on that.
Are you writing it down, Dan?
No.
I'm kidding. No. I'm kidding. I'm taking off Homa and putting 40 on Spieth.
40. Oh.
Actually, no, I'm not.
Thank you.
Spieth will win, but as a courtesy to the fans, I'm not putting go get that cash points on it because it's a curse. So back to Homa for 20, even though Spieth is my pick for the week.
I have a question for you real quick, though.
Yes.
Why is Spieth your pick to win?
Because I don't really like anyone else over him. I'll be honest. I'm looking at like my favorite outrights. I think anyone could win here. I really like the spots for placements and fades. I don't think that the win is as predictable. But of course, it's Spieth.
You have 20 on Homa?
Yes.
Okay.
So I have 3 fades. Okay, I'll go with my placement first. I'm gonna go with a power nuke. Xander plus 130 to top 10.
I have even better odds for you, so you'll like
What?
that. Plus 160.
Oh yeah, there we go. That's even better. Give me that for 40.
Okie dokie.
The power nuke.
Power nuke for
Rory
only
points?
40? Come on.
No, I have Xander and an even bigger nuke later.
Oh, so that was the mini nuke.
Mini nuke. So we have one for. All right, so I have 3 bets left. I have 3 fades this week. Do you guys have any guesses? Because I've talked them up a lot.
Mr. Can't Play?
No,
That's definitely JT.
it is JT. That's one of them.
Tiger.
No, I'm done doubting Tiger. He'll prove me wrong again.
Okay.
He won't win though, but he'll make the cut.
What
Mr.
about
Koepka?
Koepka?
He's probably the last one off my list of my power fades.
Power Face.
DJ?
Nope.
He
One
does
more.
have a power fade.
Yes, one more guess.
Oh, Mr. Fitzpatrick?
No.
I don't know, man. He looked pretty lost last week.
Fade number 1 is JT for obvious reasons. He sucks at links golf and he's not winning back-to-back majors. And I love finding a way to fade JT. And that is where I'll put 20 on him to miscut.
Ooh, a miscut?
Wow.
365.
That is bold.
A missed cut?
I like
Plus
that.
365.
That'd be
The other
fun.
one I'm putting 20 on to miscut is my second fade of the week. Actually, I'll go for my other fade that I'm not putting any money against. Morikawa.
I can see that.
He just has no form. Like, yeah, he plays well at links golf, but like he kind of just putted he was just really hot with the putter. Morikawa is a fade this week. My third fade of the week, which is
Are you betting Morikawa that missed the cut?
No, this is my biggest.
Hovland.
This is my biggest fade of the week, and it's Mr. Hovland.
Yeah.
And I'm actually gonna take 10 off of Xander top 10 so that I can place 30 on Hovland to miscut at plus 195. So
I was wondering who was gonna drop the Hovland missed cut.
That's happening
because
he
has
no
about short game. It's not him, and it's not Morikawa either. So
no,
it'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
And my final bet of the week, which was on the sports book that called Every Sport. The value is just insane. I've never seen anything quite like it. I'm putting 100 on it. It's Xander Schauffele in a tournament matchup plus 131 against Mr. Roy.
Wow.
Mr. McIlroy was on a heater. His wedges were hot. And then he made an 8 at the Travelers.
Yeah.
And it's gone now.
He hasn't
Mr. Roy
played in
will
3
not be a
years.
factor on Sunday. And if he is, he will falter. I promise you that Xander Schauffele beats him. And for plus 131 against the hottest golfer in the world, what is that value? Like, I don't care how good Rory is coming in. He made an 8. Like, he's done. He's mentally cooked. Do you see what happened? He played the Travelers Championship last like 30 holes and like plus 11. Like, that's not like plus 11 is out there at that golf course.
That should be talked about more with how poorly he finished.
Breaking, guys.
Plus 11.
Mr.
Jordan
Rory
Spieth had the
cooked.
worst round of his last 3 years and shot 75.
I don't know. You're forgetting the hero rounds, man.
Yeah,
I don't even
those are
remember the
bad.
hero rounds. Like,
You don't want to remember the hero round.
But
We need to clip
Xander
that.
Schauffele plus 131. I'm not gonna say how I know those odds exist, but if you have those odds anywhere, specifically if you use every sports book, take because
Bottom
because-
half of the storm. Yeah.
I am looking. Those odds can't still be available, right?
Oh man, everyone's on Mr. Roy, so it doesn't
Well, just
terribly shock me.
I think a lot of people are on Rory because it would be like
It's down to plus
romantic.
120 now.
He's plus 110 on FanDuel, so I'm giving you that.
Come on. Plus
You're up
131 was the
1,000
reason.
points.
No, just do 131.
131 is very fair. That's the whole reason I took it.
No.
I would not have put it.
We'll give him 120 because FanDuel's 110. We go in the middle. Is that fair?
Give me
Yeah.
121 and we have a
Honestly,
All right,
deal.
fine. Whatever.
121.
Give him the
whatever.
131.
No, I'm giving him 121. He is
All right.
1,000 points up. Does it actually make a
That's
damn
fine.
difference?
I'll take plus one.
You would
I'm
take
glad you'll take
121,
it. I'm glad you'll take it.
Anything plus money for a Xander Schauffele matchup this week against Spieth, of course, because can't beat one. Is a good bet. Good value.
Wow. All right.
Um,
Well,
I'm shocked that Home was the underdog against Hideki.
I'm definitely clipping the Rory is cooked.
That could really backfire. Like,
Well, like, think about it.
Fantastic content.
Is the Travelers the last time he played?
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing. He's like making a break.
the JP Magnus Pro Am. That's an inside joke for those that
It's
don't know.
an inside joke, the Magnus. I just saw in my feed one of my followers. I don't know how I saw this, but the entire tweet was just the Magnus, and I knew exactly like he was referring to what we're referring to, and he just tweeted the Magnus, and I was dying. Like, how does that? Anyways, there's some good value on every sport. Wow, I'm looking at plus 144 for Rahm over Spieth. I mean Spieth over Rahm.
Wow. That's fantastic. Rahm's been not very good this year.
He's had a really.
I'm not going to take it though
Those
because Jordan would give me like minus 105. So,
Well, aren't we? We're moving on to Thrive.
we're moving on to Thrive, and there is where. Okay, Elise said she's about to join, but we can.
Okay.
We can just do the Thrive real fast.
Do we do one
Um,
Thrive play or how many?
Yes, let's give our nuke Thrive play. of the
This
week.
isn't a nuke, but it's a value play.
Yes.
Hi, Elise.
Hi, how are you
What
guys?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Elise.
Awesome.
We just went through our bets, and What are your thoughts on Rory being cooked this week? I think he's mentally shot after playing the last 30 holes at the Travelers in 11 over par.
And making
I mean, but I mean, he didn't play the Scottish. Like he's had time to rest now. I think he was getting really tired at the end of Travelers, which like I could see the high rounds coming at that because at that point I was surprised he had been playing so much. So I was not surprised to see like those rounds, but he took some time off, and so I think he's mentally refreshed and ready to go.
Yeah. What about we talked a little bit about actually no, Bob was just making fun of all my bets. And I took JT because I saw him at 21 to 1. And I'm curious what your thoughts are on that.
So I mean, I really like JT this week.
What?
Every model I looked at, he was like in the top 5. I mean,
but Elise, it's links. It's links golf.
I know it's links golf. It may not translate to links golf, but in terms of like the stats you need to succeed on this course,
you're killing me here.
I mean, there's so many variables in links golf, so it may not actually pan out in like the real world, which is why in my outrights I said he looks good on paper, like he like fits to a T on paper, but given like the variables that we don't really know about, like if the wind forecast changes, if we like everyone says that it's really fast and firm, so given all of that, things could change in a hurry. But as far as like statistics go, he was modeling like really high.
I took JT Miscut as one of my plays for the week at 365. I felt like that value was really good.
I feel like JT's either going to do well or he's going to do like he did at the Scottish Open and completely.
I take that chance, I think.
Yeah.
But another thing, do you think that Xander Schauffele plus 131 against Mr. Roy is great value? I think it's an outstanding value.
Plus 1. I mean, Xander's been just playing so well. I mean, so is Rory though. Like Rory and Xander have pretty much been playing 1 and 2 as far as the hottest golfers. So I would take the plus odds. I mean, that's really good value.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And what was the other bet I made fun of you for, Dan?
I took Koepka over Finau.
Yes.
But
I know
Koepka,
Elise hates that. I know Elise is
let me explain, because I picked Koepka around Christmas time to win.
Oh, right, you did.
He's like plus 124, and he said he loves St. Andrews, but I can also see why, like, because Finau's been really good at opens too. So
Finau's been really good on links courses.
I just thought the number was like, for Koepka, the major killer, it seemed like good value.
He's no major killer anymore, man.
Yeah, I think that died. Phil beating him.
Phil?
For the PGA.
Oh.
Yeah,
I thought you were talking
as a
about
major killer. That died.
Actually, we haven't seen him since.
That's okay. Well, too late for me. But
by the way, Xander over JT at minus 122 is the lock of the century. I wanted to go with the value, but I really think this is going to be like a Xander comes up just short type of week. I think he's playing too good. I just don't think he wins.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I can see him top 5 for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone who's been playing super well going into a major, like, has placed pretty much in the top 10 or they won. Like Rory. Well, Rory was actually the only one that won. So there's a good chance that that Xander will contend, but he won't win.
Yeah.
Based on that.
Okay.
It's just so hard to win 3 in a row too. I mean,
true.
Elise, I have a few questions for you. I'm looking at your card right now. Before you go into your outrights, because I know that's where we do a lot of our decision making, I'm looking at a bet that it sticks out to me is like, how did you come up with this? How Tong Lee, first round leader at plus 9,000, so 9,000. What is your thought process?
How Tong Lee has been a first round leader on some recent Euro tournaments.
He won, right?
Yeah, he won. So that's why. I mean, for first round leaders, I tend to pick people that just have shown a consistent pattern of showing up in the first round. So there's like staples that you can pick almost every single time, and you'll be good. Well, except for that. But Munoz, like that was a community golf Twitter win. HV3. I mean, he should have won that. The one that he dead heated with a bunch of people, which was really annoying because all he had to do was par the easiest hole in the course, and he bogeyed
it's Schwab, right?
Yeah,
that was bad.
Which was a horrible beat because, I mean, luckily we had, I think, and we only had HV3 that week because we had 1 week where we had 3 of them and in a dead heat, so that actually ended up paying pretty well. But I think HV3 week we only had HV3, and all he had to do was make a par on the easiest hole.
Is KH on your card?
No, not this week.
He's playing this week.
Yeah.
He won. I forgot.
That is dangerous.
I mean, in a birdie fest cage. I mean, if it is a birdie fest cage, Lee will do well. I guarantee that.
Haotong Lee was there at Birkdale too, wasn't he? Didn't he post like 66 on Sunday?
Yes.
And they were like, "Oh, Haotong's on the range for 4 hours," while Spieth is on the range with them. Actually, yeah. So he's got a top 5 in an Open.
Yep.
I like that.
That's scary. Elise, what are your thoughts on Bryson?
Oh
my god. Oh man. He's just like been so bad. He's just been so bad lately. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I can, like the thing is he hits it really long. Like some of these short par 4s, if it's really fast, like, and he hits it on the right line, driving like, I mean, like in 2020, I thought he was gonna like potentially like obliterate St. Andrews because he could drive potentially like almost a lot of the par 4s, but he's just been playing so bad. I think partly due to like he's still kind of getting over the rust of the injury that he had. I mean, there's been a lot of injuries this season actually on the PGA Tour, and a lot of back injuries, a lot of neck injuries. And that's been useful to know in terms of like tournament matchups. That's the other thing with JT is like he had that back injury that caused him withdraw from Travelers. And then he like had a horrible performance at the Scottish, which like makes me think that maybe his back isn't fully.
Yeah.
100%.
My miscut bet is sitting pretty right now. I'm feeling so good about that.
Just following Tiger, the back injury.
Right.
But he could also be pulling a Morikawa.
I called that, by the way. I said on one of the first episodes that JT was going to have severe back problems when he grew up. So shout out.
The thing is, no one in the media asks
because look at his swing. His swing screams back injuries.
I'm glad you can diagnose swings, Bob.
I mean, I'm gonna take my horn if I was right.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I'm glad.
Bob's a tennis expert.
Yeah, tennis expert, golf expert, back injury expert.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
swing expert.
The dog, I could see him having a lot of injuries even early on because he played so hard.
Yeah, he swings so hard. Like he puts.
Well, he doesn't need to this week, but he will.
Doesn't, but he does. That's why his back is what it is. It's mush.
Jeez. All right. Bob and I also talked about this was when we were doing the Magnus preview that we talked about Kisner and Woods. We had a little Kisner Woods debate. I thought Woods would be better than Kiz. I'm curious what your thoughts are on that.
Should we put a?
Yeah, I think Tiger's gonna be better than Kiz this week.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry.
I agree.
I think Tiger's gonna make the cut. I think, this course all along was what I thought he would like. I was surprised he came back so soon at the Masters. I thought he'd come back here. The walk is easier. He seems to be playing more in the practice rounds leading up, so that seems to suggest he's feeling good. And then you just can't ever count out Tiger. Just
You can, but I'm gonna stand here and I promise you Kisner beats Woods this week. They'll both finish like T58, but Kisner will edge him out. I promise you that. He's a short course merchant. Dan, I will give you. We need to come up with some sort of proposition here.
Isn't Kisner horrible at the Open?
He is, but I don't care.
Really bad.
I don't care. I don't care.
I mean, he was good. He was good the Carnoustie year, which
he's been
firm and fast.
Firm, fast, short. I like what I'm hearing. It's like
Oh no.
I love Kisner over Woods.
Yes, whoever loses should have to wear something, I don't know, goofy on the next pod.
Not a bad idea. I don't know what
Elise, what do you have in mind with when you say goofy?
Yeah.
The old course hat that JT was wearing earlier this week.
That's you gotta find that hat though.
How do you even get that?
Yeah.
What about a hot dog costume?
Oh yeah, that's really good.
I have a banana costume I could wear.
I'd buy a hot dog costume.
Where did you get a banana costume?
All right, so Bob has to wear a hot dog costume and Dan has to wear a banana costume. Whoever loses.
Deal.
I'm down.
I just get to sit back and watch.
Yeah. Deal.
I like that.
Perfect.
I was a banana Halloween one year. That's why I have it. To answer your question there, Jordan.
Thank you. Elise, I'm curious at your long shots this week. Just because we hear all the big names, but there's a lot of, I guess, value out there.
I mean, so yeah, my long shot isn't really a long shot because the value on him is now, or actually, I mean, he's down to 45 to 1, 50 to 1, but I got him for 200 to 1, as did a number of people on golf Twitter. He was 200 to 1. Golf Bet Caddy tweeted about it. And it was just I was 220 is crazy. I mean, and same with, he was also 120 to 1 at the time as well. And he was about to win the Wells Fargo. So, I took it. I was and plus he had said something earlier that links golf, St. Andrews, was his favorite course or something. Max Homa had said that. So I didn't, or that, he said that style of golf suited him. I didn't see it at the time because I saw him more as a US Open PGA guy because he tends to play well on hard courses. And so because he won Wells Fargo, for instance. And yeah, but I just saw that. It's I'd be stupid not to take this. I mean, you can sprinkle a little bit of money, you can make a lot. So Max Homa for golf Twitter.
Does it worry you that he's paired with Tiger?
Yes, because he's hero worships Tiger, so that's a concern. He'll have heart eyes in his heart emojis in his eyes, and that.
But he's a PGA Tour winner now. I think it's better for him than a Spieth. I think Homa will kind of thrive off it more than a lot of other players.
I hope so. I mean, JT thrives off of playing with Tiger. Not that many other people do, though. JT has an insane record when paired with Tiger.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to ask what your thoughts on the Homa Tiger pairing, because it'll be interesting for Fitzpatrick though too, because if this was a year ago, they're in a totally different boat. Obviously, right? Fitz isn't a major winner, and Homa hasn't kind of defended. He wasn't back-to-back at Wells Fargo, right? But he was, he's won it twice now, and he won the Fortnite as well. So,
Fortnite.
Yeah, he's he's a proven winner now, and Fitz obviously a major champ. So I think that group I think they'll be able to handle it. And Jordan pointed out earlier too that the crowds are farther away, so you'll hear Tiger roars, but you won't be necessarily amongst the crowds as much as you might at a PGA.
Yeah, that is true.
Which I think will be beneficial for sure.
The one PGA I attended was an absolute zoo following Tiger. I mean, it was impossible to get in within 100 well, it was possible to get like there was 100 people deep. It was like 100 people deep
Jeez.
in St. Louis. I mean, it was just a complete zoo.
Yeah, I was looking to see um how Spieth had played with Rahm in majors. So I came across a bunch of like groupings in old majors. And the PGA, when Tiger plays recently, they throw him with Rory and JT or Rory and Spieth or like they go mega Tiger group. And it's so I'd imagine it at Belle Reve it was insane. I think it was Rory JT that year with
Yep,
Tiger,
Rory JT Tiger. Yep, I have a
which
picture. I
is
have a
just
picture in my iPhone of them. Yep, it was them. And
that's
Rory was, which was, it was also mind blowing to see Rory in person though, because he's out driving both JT and Tiger by like 20 or 30 yards on like every single hole.
Rory's
Yeah.
swing is so mesmerizing. Like
So good.
It's the best golf swing in golf, in my opinion.
I also saw him shanking on the range at Belle Reve though. It was-
Really?
Everyone was like so shocked. Yeah.
I can't believe that. Like,
He's human.
Yeah, but
yes.
what's your favorite play this week? Do you have one?
It's probably my maximum play because I got such good odds on it. I mean,
I like that too. At least I was saying that, like, I feel like for placements and matchups, this week is one of my like, I'm like yearning for it. Like, I feel like there are a lot of spots where you can pick. I feel like for outrights, it's not like that. There's not like an outright on your card that I'm like, I think I'm that confident with. Besides, obviously, Homa is a great number, but like, there's not like at a lot of events, I'm looking at like course history and stuff. But here, I don't feel like there's one of those outrights. Do you feel that way?
same because I think St. Andrews just brings like so many more people.
That's what I'm saying. Yes.
Like it brings so many, yeah, and like that's why you can't really bet like Rory at like 9-1 or 10-1 in my opinion, just because there's like so many people that can win this. Yeah, so I don't really have like a favorite outright other than Max Homa. I agree with you that there's nothing like tournament matchups tend to be like what I do like best at. We almost always go like at least 2-1, if not more. So I do like all my tournament matchups because we just find like nuggets about people that you may not know about. It's like, for instance, like Sung Jae Im, he also withdrew from the Travelers with a back injury. So, and I saw like on YouTube that he may not be fully healthy either. So, that's a tournament matchup. I'm fading Hovland again, as I have like pretty much every single major.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Hovland after API has like not been good. He's also had wrist injuries.
Yep.
So he might not be fully recovered either from those.
Yeah. I was just thinking about Hovland's wrist injury once you mentioned him. The old course is so interesting because we talked about how it brings a lot of people into play. But I kind of think it like after 36 holes, I think it's pretty clear who could win. Like I think there's not really comebacks here. And I think if you're not inside the top 15 after 36, you're toast. I'm curious your thoughts on that.
I mean, that's been typically the winner has been within like the top 10, maybe even like top 5 after the first round even. So I agree with that. I think it's just because, I mean, so like, what was Shinnecock? Was it like Shinnecock when it was like really windy or really crazy that one day, and like Berger and Finau were like out early and they were able to like go get like all the way into the second to last pairing on the last day. So like things like that happen at like really difficult courses because the leaders like back up, or if you get like different conditions at the for the afternoon for the leaders, like somebody can shoot a low round in easier conditions and like really catch up. But here, so the forecast is like against that happening. Seems like pretty like steady-ish, like not that much wind, so that hurts. And there's like way more birdies opportunities out here, I think, than like a Shinnecock or like a Carnoustie, for instance. So that also lends itself to like the leaders like not backing up. So you need to have like a hot start.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I was going to ask you about if you saw anything in the draw, because I know the weather apps have been they don't seem to agree with each other necessarily. Other than that, in the end, it might be pretty even.
Yeah, I mean, so I saw windfinder.com seems to like think that the wind will almost like completely die when Jordan tees off at 4, for instance. But I've seen other ones where the wind gusts pick up actually around that time, and it's like slightly more windier than the morning. So the forecasts are all over the place, but there's like I think more of them that lean toward it picking up slightly wind wise in the afternoon.
Okay.
That lets me to think those are the more accurate ones right now.
Okay, but you don't think there's any significant draw advantage then?
It's not going to be the players. It's not going to be Scottish.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. Bob's on mute again.
Bob's smiling about something.
Yeah, well, I think he made a great comment and then he realized he was muted.
Yeah, it's ruined. I said it's not going to be the 2015 PGA.
Yeah, that 3-shot.
But I'd like to know your opinion on my 3 fades of the week. I came on this podcast and my reputation is on the line because I've put a lot on these 3 guys doing poorly this week. It's JT, Hovland, and Morikawa. What are your thoughts on that?
Hovland, I like. Obviously, I'm fading him in matchups. So Maury, the thing is, it's not going to be windy. So then I like that less. If it was going to be more windy, I would say, because Morikawa seems to be.
I just think he's got no form.
I think he's more form than he came in like he top 5 at the US Open. I think he's more form than you think.
Collapsed all over himself.
Yeah, but he
when it was windy on Saturday, he collapsed.
But yeah.
Then when it wasn't, he shot a 66 on Sunday at Brookline.
True. I might have to reevaluate.
But
I'm playing Morikawa in DFS because I'm
his
playing
short game though hasn't been good this year. Like it's been almost Hovland bad. I think.
What's his approach putting performance stats? Because I saw on Rick Run Good as being like one of the like key stats this week because of the huge greens.
I can look that up right now. I was looking at that this morning because I was looking for Spieth. He's like T14 or something.
Spieth is totally good. Yep. JT's T6. Spieth is T14. Finau's T14, I think.
I think Cantlay's pretty decent too, actually. Yeah, Cantlay's T2.
Can't play in majors. I just can't get over that. He just looks so bad in majors all the time.
Yeah.
Cantlay's so good. Again, it's like so good on paper, but he's only had like I think 2 decent. Like I can remember him kind of contending at a Masters. I think he's had like 1 like finish in an Open above T20. But that's like that's kind of it.
I think
Carnoustie, he was T12.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm pretty sure okay, so Morikawa is T93 in approach putt performance.
I don't like that.
Yeah, that's not very good.
Yeah.
There you go, Bob.
There you go, Bob. That
didn't Cantlay
point for your Morikawa argument.
Wait, what was the point?
He's like T93 in approach putt performance.
There you go.
Okay. I'm pretty sure Cantlay had a 1-shot lead when Tiger won on Sunday with like 2 to play. I don't know if people remember that.
I don't remember that
because he made double on
Cantlay.
He finished bad on 17, 18.
I don't know if he ever got the lead, but he was that guy who made the charge.
I think he did. I think he was the solo leader for a second. And people were like,
I remember it being Molinari all the way up to Tiger taking it after 12.
No, I think Dan, I think you're right. He did.
Okay, I'm wrong then. Should we let Elise judge our Thrive biggest plays?
Yeah, sure. I had one. I went for a value play. I'm fading. Well, not necessarily fading, but I'm saying for value play, I'm saying taking Matt Fitzpatrick over 2.5 bogeys
I love that play.
for 115 points. Because if it's going to be as hard as they're saying it's going to be, I think that's going to be a lot easier to do than we originally thought and what we've heard of.
Well, I think even if the winner's like 18 under, I still think there are going to be plenty of bogeys made. I think it's just going to be a lot of birdies and a lot of bogeys.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to hit that.
I don't know. Thrive's tough this week, honestly, with some of these numbers.
It was very tough. I was looking over. It was really tough.
Yeah.
My is another value play. Hovland over 3.5 bogeys.
Yeah, I like that. I mean,
That's fair.
it was just
For
so
125.
like I said, I'm fading Hovland like super hard this week.
Yeah.
I'm not putting him in DFS. I'm put people against him in matchups. He just like hasn't been good since. I mean, pretty much we had him for API, and we thought he was going to win. Get me like that was going to be like my at the time like third outright of the year or something. Or I would be up to 5 now if Hovland had won API. And he completely like lost it. Like I can't remember ever witnessing a worse short game performance. It was completely horrible. Yeah. After that, I was like, nope, I'm not betting this guy again. You need a good short game like around for majors. Like you just do. I mean, that's probably why Patrick Reed has a major, unfortunately.
Alvin hasn't had a T10 since the Players.
Yeah, that's also really bad.
Yeah, he doesn't even have a T10 in a major in his career, which is
Ooh.
Well, none of the majors fit him. You have to be able to get up and down
Yeah.
in majors.
yeah. So fade him. Yeah, exactly.
Like you can't like what does Hovland do well?
Strikes it. Great.
Strikes it, yeah.
But like he doesn't strike it around the green. So
But he's not like a phenomenal ball striker. I mean, he's not like the level of Will Zalatoris or like Colin
Morikawa. Yeah.
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 So he's mid.
No.
I wouldn't say
Hovland,
mid.
Well, Hovland was like the best golfer in the world for like a 3-month stretch in the winter.
Hovland's ball striking is.
It was the winter though. So
Because
Winter
not everyone was
doesn't
playing.
Yeah, the
Not
winter
right
doesn't
now.
count.
But-
I don't know about that. He won. He's
He won
When
3
was that?
times.
course
an
it is.
animal trophy merchant.
During COVID, he won 3 times in 5 weeks or 5 events at one point.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But it was like they were all like 30-point WGR events.
Remember my outrageous take that Garrett Higo was once the best golfer in the world?
Said that.
I did say that.
That's
Back when he had
embarrassing.
won like 4 straight events on the Euro Tour, I was like, he's the best player in the world right now. Like, I don't care that's not the PGA Tour. He's won 4 straight professional events. And I said that. And that was so bad. That was so bad. He won 1 PGA Tour event. He won 3 in a row. We run 2 Euro Tour and then his first PGA Tour start. And I was like, this guy's the best player right now.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
It's just on a heater.
Yeah. I'm looking. This is tough. Drives made it pretty tough today, but I'm gonna go under on Mr. Tiger Woods 69.5. Give me 3 under or better, Tiger. And I don't
It
say
could
that with a lot
happen.
of confidence, but more as of a fan. Some plus points there, but we'll see.
Yeah. Like I said, Tiger has, you can't ever doubt Tiger. I mean, after 2019 Masters, you can never doubt Tiger again. Just can't do it.
It wouldn't
never
shock
thought-
me if he played well this week.
I never thought he would win another major. And then he won the 2019 Masters.
We'll see with Tiger this week. It'll be because he didn't get the lucky, not the lucky, but he didn't get the early late, right? So now he's got to go late early, which I think he's been kind of gearing up for because he played a lot of golf leading into the Open. But that's Friday morning is going to be tough. If I mean, he takes like 3 ice baths just to like play.
He's got to
That's
wake
not
up
a
at
lot of
3
time to
a.m.
sleep and regrind, but if he makes
Yeah.
the weekend and he's in a decent spot, that's plenty of time to gear up for Saturday. So, but I kind of thought somebody told me that it might have been Dylan the chair. Like maybe like I thought there was some sort of agreement like between Tiger and just all these like majors that he would get the early late draw every time just because that's better for his body.
Me too.
Yeah, I mean maybe he didn't like the late Friday, early Saturday because he was always fighting with the cut, right? So maybe he's trying to mix it up and get into contention here, but we'll see.
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
Is that all we have?
Unless there's
but-
anything Elise wants to share. I mean, I think we've
Yeah, I think we
Elise to Spieth
saved.
winning.
Oh no,
I don't know.
That's not the right
Elise,
question.
Elise,
That's not
just
the right question, Jordan. It's by how many is Spieth winning?
yes, Elise. I didn't pick Jordan as my go get that outright. Does that make you any more confident? Because I feel like it's a curse because I've picked him in every major so far. I think.
I don't know. I feel stronger about Rory winning.
And JT or no?
So, I mean, yes, as well.
What? You think JT has a better chance of winning than Spieth?
I mean, Jordan has not contended in a major all year.
Yeah.
Elise,
His putting has been like
this is
abysmal. I don't know.
I mean, I'm not rooting for that, but that is hilarious.
I mean, Elise, you might not be invited back. I'm sorry. That's travesty. How do you?
You know, I want Jordan to win. I'm just
Okay,
never.
but I feel like
I'm just
you're
never
also,
confident that will actually happen.
She's brutally honest. That's what you want.
Don't you have like $1 million on JT just like to hedge like happiness?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe that has something to do with it. If JT won, you'd be like, right.
Also, I have more. No, I have the same amount of money on Spieth and JT actually.
All right, fair enough.
But
right. Yeah.
I'm a pessimistic fan.
Yeah.
I am too.
I doubt it until like everything actually happens. Like, I mean,
I am too. I fail to see why he wins by like less than 8. It's like bad case, like worst case.
I don't know. I can come up with plenty of reasons Spieth doesn't win this week.
what's
Mr. Putter.
Tell us,
Mr.
Dan.
Putter.
Putter number, that's just easy.
Mr. Mental.
Is also another reason. I mean, he said he's going to be patient.
Mr. Par 3 tee box.
Only two of them.
Honestly, so Spieth and being in contention majors have produced like some of the best like viewing experiences, I will say.
Yeah.
Some of the most like heartbreaking, but like also some of the most like times you feel alive watching golf.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's fun.
like 2017 Open, 2016 Masters, like 2018 Masters, 2015 Open. I mean, just like there's just so many. No other golfer like makes me feel that way in terms of like, cause when like Rory was winning, Rory was like obliterating majors. Like,
Yeah.
he won them. So there wasn't like the same. Like, there's always like Jordan's on a tightrope basically every time he's in contention on a major, and you don't know what's going to happen. Like, you could very much fall off like really easily, or you can walk the entire tightrope and get the victory. Either way, it's going to be exciting. So that's why I hope he's in contention, because like the majors this year to me have just been kind of like, and maybe this just because I'm just like a huge Spieth fan, but they've been kind of boring without Jordan.
Yeah. I feel like they've been somewhat predictable. The Masters was Scheffler was.
Well, PGA wasn't predictable.
Once he was there.
PGA was painful.
The PGA was
not in a good way though.
kind of predictable. Like once JT got himself to 5 under, I had a really bad feeling that
I had a
that
really
would
bad feeling, so I
happen.
put $200 on JT when he was at 5 under for like
Yeah.
plus 250.
The US Open was pretty good. I enjoyed Fitzpatrick doing what he did.
The US Open was my favorite major so far this year because although the one thing about the US Open that couldn't make me enjoy it as much was because I was going to pick Fitzpatrick and I didn't, and so I was like kicking myself like the entire time. So that like kind of ruined that.
You took Zalatoris though too, right, in the US Open?
Yeah, but I could have had real Zalatoris and Fitzpatrick instead of Spieth, for
that's true.
instance.
I was devastated. Well, no, I'm not even going to go into it. I'm not going to go into the devastation of Will Zalatoris losing the U.S. Open because I really wasn't that upset that it was Fitzpatrick. It was for other reasons, but
and PGA, I mean, he did it to us like PGA he lost and the U.S. Open.
The PGA was worse. I'll never
The
forgive
PGA was so predictable.
I'll never forgive him for what he did to me at the PGA.
I'll never forgive Mito Pereira for what he did. All he had to do was par.
Zalatoris, as soon as JT and Zalatoris put their pegs in the ground on the first playoff hole at the PGA, it was over.
Yeah, I knew it was over as well.
It was chops. JT had that thing in his back pocket, like it was over.
Yeah,
but
we
haven't talked about Will at all today.
Yeah, we haven't talked about Will.
I think it's because this is just not. It doesn't seem like a Zalatoris setup. Is that fair to say?
That's fair.
I was debating betting him to miscut.
Well, yeah, it's funny. He has not been good outside of the majors this year.
I put a free bet on him only because I don't want to miss out on Will Z week ever.
It's fair.
But I can also see him like missing the cut.
Yeah. Well, didn't he missed at Mr. Ranch, miscut, and then he missed at the Schwab. He missed last week at the Scottish.
Yep.
Obviously played really well at the US Open.
He was playing well earlier this year though, because remember he was dueling Luke List at Torrey.
It's another US Open venue.
But the thing is, like, Will Zalatoris, if it does get into a birdie fest at St. Andrews, he can't keep up. Like he's proven that he can't keep up in birdie fest.
That's
to me.
Mr. Ranch has conquered Will Zalatoris.
Well, on the other hand, KH Lee has a really good record there.
That's true.
That's very scary. KH Lee with a jug would be a very scary sight.
KH Lee with Mr. Jug would just elevate Mr. Ranch into one of the elite courses of all time.
It's KH's Open debut too.
That's sick. I'm a KH Lee fan this week. Most weeks, but this week.
Take that back. You're not a KH Lee fan.
Dude, if he wins the jug, Mr. Ranch.
That'd be hilarious.
Facts. Yes, you're right. You know what? I'm on team. I'm
actually
for Mr. Ranch's sake.
And Ju Young
it would solidify Mr. Ranch up there with Mr. Andrews.
Yeah.
I mean,
top tier venue.
Yeah.
And Ju Young Kim, I think is his name, the 20-year-old kid.
Kim.
Yep. If he plays well, that'd be sick. He was really he's like just like showed up at the Scottish somehow. We saw him at 17 and he's tied for the lead. It's like, wait a minute, where'd you come from? But I mean,
part of that's the broadcast. They don't show people who are coming up until it's like too late.
Yeah. His club tour on 18 has me sold. I'm a Ju Young Kim fan. If you twirl it like that, I'm a fan of yours. So
he 3-putted so calmly.
Yeah,
like that could have like been a career changing like 2-putt, and he 3-putted, and he was just like, "All right, I gave him my best," and like walked off. 20. Like respect.
Yeah, if he made the first putt too, he would have been in a playoff with Xander.
Like he knows he's out there just living his best life, you know.
Yeah, and that's how you win. I think is playing free. You know,
we need more of that. Where's like Anthony Kim?
Yeah,
I miss Anthony Kim so much.
What if he wins the Open this week? It'd be funny. We also have.
I know Jordan likes. I thought you like kind of like a nobody to win this week.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me at all. Like a Tringali, we've been talking about Tringali coming out of nowhere.
I
can guarantee you, Triangle's not going to win.
Yeah, he has the same chance as Flower.
Tringali is like,
no, if Fowler was in, he'd have a chance.
Yeah,
I agree. Actually, if Fowler was playing, I think he'd be like low key there on Saturday.
we would.
How did he not top 40 last week? For you,
I don't know.
That was so funny.
That was a travesty. I was watching and thinking about your bet. I was like, Jordan is gonna. He's all he had to do was shoot 74 on Sunday, and he shot 75.
Yeah.
Classic Flower.
He's brutal.
That's pretty good. Anyway, I know. So we talked about flowers, which makes me think of summer, which makes me think of Crocs.
Ooh,
Crocs.
Yes,
oh no.
Last week, we had a little bit of I wouldn't say it's spirited on Twitter, but it was a debate of some sorts, and I made it very clear. I have no problem with socks and Crocs, socks and sandals, socks and flip-flops. I don't wear them very often. I'm actually wearing socks and slides right now, but I feel like that's a little more common.
That's fine.
I've definitely wore socks and Crocs before, and I have no issues with it.
Where's Crocs?
The Crocs part is the part I have a problem with.
So you're not a fan of socks. It's more about the Crocs.
Who, me?
Just in general.
I mean, I don't know Crocs. I'll wear socks and Sperry's. I mean, 24/7.
So, can I unleash my opinion on this to the internet?
Go ahead.
This could
management involved. Without the pod, if I'm not.
I never don't wear socks. I can't not wear socks. I need to wear socks wherever I am, whether it's with Crocs, flip-flops, in my house, sleeping. I have to wear
Sleep with socks.
Oh my god.
Ew.
So
Ew.
I know that this is gonna be a huge controversy, but my feet get so dry, like I have to have them covered or else they get cold. And I can't. I might be the only one who sleeps with socks, but
Yeah, that's a devastating take.
even when it's like hot and I like don't wear like pajamas, I'll just wear like shorts and like sometimes not even like a t-shirt. Like I'll still wear socks. Like I don't know why. But
Do you wear
Oh my god.
do you have like a sock tan? Because I do.
so
Good.
funny enough, I don't wear shorts very often because I don't wear shorts golfing because I got 2 tick bites when I was younger and I've never worn shorts since.
Wow.
So
So
I
your
only
legs are just pale.
which doesn't make that much of a difference. Like it's not that bad. But the only time I ever wear like I have a little bit of a tan, but it's a good tan. Like it doesn't look like it doesn't look like there's a big difference, but it like molds in good. Because like the only time I'm like no pants is like when I'm like
I think you mean blends in good.
blends
Yeah,
in.
molds in good.
Molds in
Yeah.
good.
It's a good one.
So
But
yeah,
talk about tans because it kind of leads into my next question, and it's not quite as good as the last one. But I was curious for those who wear sunscreen because I wear sunscreen.
You need to wear sunscreen.
yeah, I'm white as hell. I have
You need to wear sunscreen.
I'm curious, spray or lotion?
Ooh, this is a good one.
I think I have again, to me, I've thought this through, and this is a very clear answer, clear best answer, but I'm curious what the people have to say.
It's a good question on the pod.
Yeah. So when Mr. Cage Lee is holding up the jug on Sunday, we discuss. We'll see what Twitter has to say.
Please no.
Dude, that'd be so good. Mr. Ranch would host a US Open. I mean,
yes. Aaron Hills type beat.
yeah.
Please no.
I'd be so happy. My goodness.
It's devastating.
We're speaking Cage Lee into existence.
All right.
Yeah.
On that, I think we need to wrap it up because I cannot have
Yeah.
KH Lee winning the jug. And
Yeah, I really hope I don't get too. Let's see. Did chat say anything about my outrageous take?
I'm gonna say
No, they
Claxton
didn't. They
abomination.
didn't. All right, I'm in the
Safe
clear
for now.
for a little bit, but all right, we'll see how the post. We'll see how the Apple fellas, the Apple listeners, respond in the comments later.
Well, I mean, the Twitter is going to get all over you for sure.
Oh, I'm sure you'll
Just
start
come down
that,
Twitter.
Elise.
That's going to get.
Deservedly so. Slip of the
Oh yeah.
sauce.
Somebody put that in the chat, somebody, and we'll have a good time.
Oh no. All right. Well, I'm gonna go prepare for that. Elise, as always, thank you for coming on.
Thank you,
This
Elise.
was-
Thanks for having me.
This was
This
the
was
last
good.
major of the year, so I don't know. Well, I mean, the FedEx Cup isn't important enough to have you on. I think we'd get bringing you on for the FedEx Cup would give too much to the FedEx Cup, so we can't do that.
Yeah.
Maybe for the President's Cup, if there's
It's a good idea.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
President's Cup, then obviously the Players, Masters, Mr. Ranch,
We already know
PGA.
who's winning the Masters, by the way. So
Who?
Easter Sunday.
Easter Sunday.
true.
Come on.
Easter
That is
Sunday.
true.
Yes.
KH Lee.
All right.
Us too.
We'll see you guys on Sunday.
Yep.
Take
Peace.
care.
Thanks.
Peace.